is it's okay to help other people because you're not truly in competition with them. There's always going to be envy when somebody got the new contract. There's always going to be jealousy when somebody drives up in a car that runs. But, there's on the other hand, but our readers can be the same people, and they often are. And that's why there should always be a solidarity among writers, particularly local writers. Utah is miraculous for that. It's being noticed, as a matter of fact. There's so many writers are coming out of this little state. I've had publishers comment from Virginia. One in Los Angeles mentioned this, says, what is it with Utah with all you guys? And I said, man, we're just cool. What can I say? But there's something about this place, and maybe it's because we do have this bonhomie, this solidarity together. We do have organizations like LTUE and the League of Utah Writers and writers groups, and we cling to each other, and we help and support each other. Maybe that's why Utah is becoming so noticed. And so let's do this.
To be honest, it was that phrase that you said that stuck with me, and I thought, I'm going to do a podcast. And that was the inspiration for this show. I wanted to connect with other authors, and I thought, when you're trying to promote yourself, you're not seeing the sales you want, we tend to get discouraged, we tend to not look beyond our own nose. And I think that advice is so profound. If it's not working, connect to somebody else and help somebody else instead of just trying to help yourself. And in so doing, you're going to move a mountain.
Precisely. I can't agree more. That's what it's all about. The other part of it is that writing is a very lonely business often. We lock ourselves in a dark room with computer lights and a pen, and we talk to imaginary friends. So getting out there and meeting real people with the similar experiences and similar goals is just a tonic. I get excited. I'm excited now being with you, Stephen. Yeah. Now, the panel we shared together was fantastic. Writers tend to be an introverted people. And so, as I mentioned before, selling our bandages, our psychic bandages, kind of goes against the grain. So it's helpful to have that support group because we're often unaware that they even exist, that there is a support group of other people like-minded, likely, who are similarly challenged as us. Yeah. So that's just great to know that we're not alone. That alone is a reason to connect with other writers.
We often have a misconception that you're either a New York Times bestseller that everybody's heard of, or you're a nobody. Yeah. Instead of we're all in this fantastic journey together.
Precisely. I'd like to be a New York Times guy, but I have no idea even how to get there. I'm not even sure that's even possible, or even that wanted anymore, that needed. If you continue to write, and I think that's the goal. I'm working my 12th novel right now. And by the time I think this novel is published, I will be a bestseller. If only because I have 12 bloody novels out there, and you add them all, I guess I'd call myself a bestseller. But if you keep writing and you keep expressing, because every word you write will be better than the one before. And you can continue doing this as long as there's strength in your fingers. And as my son points out, it'll keep my mind sharper than people who don't write. So I'll live long enough to see all my books made into movies, which is how you get it to the greatest audience. That's something else. I call myself often a candle maker in the age of the LED. Books are not what they used to be. It used to be the culture was carried in books, right? They said that 80% of the English-speaking world had read Dickens at one point during his lifetime. Now, nobody can touch those numbers. Even the biggest bestseller, Stephen King, fraction of a percent have read Stephen King, any of it. So movies are where now, that's why I studied film in college, is because that's where the cultural narrative is being carried out. But the genesis of most of these movies, of the good ones, are still in the novel. Because this is one of the few places where you have a single mind working on a single idea to express. As soon as you're out of the novel, as soon as you're out of the writing phase of it, of a single writer phase, some people can collaborate writing. I don't even know how that works.
It doesn't.
Yeah, but I know something to do, Michael Jensen and King, they're woven that they swear to God they can write collaboratively. I can't do that. But the writer is an individual, and as soon as it gets anything beyond that into a greater marketplace, then it becomes a collaborative thing. So I write my novel, first draft. I edit it. It's still mine. As soon as I give it to an editor, I'm now collaborating. Now, we can keep that a little bit. It's still just a touch. But by the time it's to the movie and somebody like Joss Whedon has killed off half your cast, then...
It's a corporation by that point.
Exactly. And so in order for one human being like you or I to really touch the cultural mind, this is where we are. And this is why we do this. I don't want to say that I'm looking for immortality, but I wouldn't mind it. But it's not going to happen. I mean, I always think about who was really popular 100 years ago, and are they still being read? I was at a panel at LTUE, and somebody brought up James Michener. Do you know James Michener?
I don't.
Okay. My mother loved James Michener. He wrote historical novels, and he was all there was for about 10 years, and now he's forgotten. So all we can do is make a little ripple in the pond. Get over it. We're going to die. We'll see you on the next run, Anyway, I'm off. You got me rambling.
Well, even so, I mean, if we want immortality, one, we could dip our head in liquid nitrogen and hope that cryonic technology might someday revive us. Or you could write a really good book. And you know what? That might represent your mind better than your actual head.
Good point. I'm looking into the liquid nitrogen thing.
Well, this has been really enlightening. I've really enjoyed this discussion, and I don't feel we can improve on what's been said.
Just keep writing, everyone. Every book needs to be written. Now, I'm not sure every book needs to be published, but every book needs to be written because there's more to writing a book than just having other people look at it. There's therapy. Sometimes your audience is very small. Sometimes it's your family. I know a lot of people that write memoirs. Memoirs, once in a while, take off big for the whole world, but for a family, it is the most treasured heirloom they will ever have. A journal, at the right time, is the most priceless piece of art imaginable. So write. Every book deserves to be written. Every book. Keep writing.
Thank you very much, Johnny Worthen.
Woo! You can find me at johnnyworthen.com if you want to. That's cool. That's JOHNNYWORTHEN.com. I answer my emails. Look for The Brand Demand in April, Celeste, which is the Unseen Book 2, in July, and The Finger Trap probably October of this year. Right now, Eleanor the Unseen is on sale at your local Barnes & Noble and Amazon. And it is a fantastic read. And if you do read any of my books, I would very much ask you to let me know what you think of it. I won't engage if it's negative, but I might just thank you if it's positive. We don't get enough feedback. So if you ever do read one of my books, and you're going to, right? Yeah, good. Then contact me. Let me know.
And that's across the board. If there's an author out there you know, give them a review. They need it. We all need it. The only way to achieve your dreams is to help others achieve their dreams.
Go for that, yes.
I hereby grant you the title of Wizard of Dream Magic, an honorary citizen of New Camelot. If you enjoy The Stephen Gashler Show, please tell your friends and subscribe at iTunes. To find out more, visit StephenGashler.com. That's StephenGashler.com. Sound effects by freesound.org and music by yours truly.